Welcome back to K-Drama Cycle, your home for all the emotional twists, heartfelt moments, and behind-the-scenes stories from Asia's biggest stars. Today's story is one that has fans everywhere holding their breath, a tale of love, regret, and possible redemption. This is Love, Apology, or PR Move. Shen Yu's reaction to Dylan Wang's public statement. For years, Dylan Wang and Shen Yue have been one of China's most talked about on-screen pairs. Ever since their unforgettable chemistry in Meteor Garden, fans believed that what they saw on screen wasn't entirely fiction. The laughter, the subtle glances, the warmth between them, it felt real. Too real to ignore. But as fame grew and both stars began to walk their own paths, rumors, misunderstandings, and silence began to take over. Their story slowly shifted from a fairy tale to a mystery. And now, after months of speculation and public scrutiny, Dylan Wang finally decided to speak up, with a statement that left everyone in shock. It happened during a live fan event promoting Dylan Wang's new project. In front of cameras, fans, and the media, Dylan paused midway through his speech. He looked down for a moment, visibly emotional, before saying, "There are things I should have said a long time ago, and someone I should have said them to." The crowd went silent. Everyone knew who he meant. Even without saying her name, Shen Yu's presence filled the room. Dylan continued, saying, "I made choices I thought were right at the time, but maybe silence hurt more than any words could. I'm sorry, not just for what happened, but for what didn't." Those words sent the internet into a frenzy. Within minutes, hashtags like Dylan Apology and Shen Yue response trended across Chinese social media. Was this a confession? A heartfelt apology, or a carefully crafted PR statement to fix his public image after months of controversy? Shen Yue didn't respond immediately. For 2 days, her social media remained quiet. No posts, no interviews, no public appearances. Fans were restless. Some hoped she'd forgive him. Others believed she'd moved on long ago. But then, during a charity live stream for an education campaign, Shen Yue was asked a subtle question by a fan. The question was simple: if someone from your past apologized publicly, would you listen? Shen Yue paused. She smiled softly, her eyes reflecting both warmth and distance, and replied, "Sometimes, apologies don't need to be heard, they just need to be felt. I believe sincerity finds its way to the heart, even if it's too late." Her answer was elegant but loaded with emotion. Fans immediately connected it to Dylan's statement. It wasn't a direct response, but it was enough. It showed that she had heard him, and maybe she still cared. Insiders close to the actors revealed that Dylan had tried to reach Shen Yue privately before making the statement. However, it's rumored that his message never got through due to management restrictions. In the entertainment world, timing and image are everything, and for stars like Dylan Wang, every move is watched, analyzed, and often misunderstood. A close friend of Shen Yue reportedly shared that she was touched by Dylan's words but hesitant to reopen old wounds. According to that insider, Shen Yu's silence wasn't rejection, it was self-protection. For years, both had faced public pressure to rekindle something that perhaps only they truly understood. Now, with Dylan's public apology, those emotions, once buried, have resurfaced not only for them but for millions of fans who believed in their story. As with any emotional revelation, the public quickly split into two camps. Some fans praised Dylan's bravery, calling his apology genuine and long overdue. Others accused his management of using emotional publicity to soften his image after months of criticism about his attitude and rumored disputes on set. Why now, some asked. Why make it public when private words would have meant more? Yet, others defended him, saying that the sincerity in his voice couldn't be faked. Many noted that Dylan's tone was not that of a rehearsed actor, but of a man burdened by regret. Shen Yue has always been known for her humility and calm demeanor. She's not one to seek attention, nor to publicly display personal emotions. After Dylan's statement, she continued her professional commitments quietly, attending shoots, doing interviews, and supporting causes. But one particular interview stood out. When asked about forgiveness and time, Shen Yue replied, "Time doesn't erase feelings, it reshapes them. Sometimes love turns into gratitude, and that's okay." Her words hinted at a mature understanding that perhaps she had already forgiven him in her heart, even if things could never return to how they were. That subtle, quiet grace became the heart of the story. Fans called it Shen Yu's silent strength. The fandom's response has been overwhelming. Many posted old clips from Meteor Garden, comparing their on-screen connection with their real-life story. Others shared heartfelt messages saying, "They taught us that love isn't always about ending up together. Sometimes, it's about healing." Online communities began trending the tag Dylan and Shin healing arc, symbolizing a new chapter where both could find peace, whether together or apart. Some even wrote open letters to both stars, thanking them for their vulnerability. The love story that began in fiction had once again touched hearts, but this time, it was painfully real. Entertainment journalists have analyzed the event from every angle. Some say Dylan's apology was a calculated move by his agency to rebuild his public image. Others insist that it was spontaneous, raw, and from the heart. One insider even claimed that Dylan had refused to read from a prepared script during that fan event. Instead, he decided to speak directly from emotion, breaking his agency's media plan in the process. If true, that act alone changes everything. It transforms the moment from a PR stunt into something deeply human, a man trying to right a wrong, even when it's too late. The big question remains, will Dylan Wang and Shen Yue ever reconnect, even as friends? While neither has confirmed any private meeting, fans have noticed subtle signs, Dylan following a charity project that Shinyu supports, Shinyu being seen wearing a bracelet similar to one Dylan wore years ago. Coincidence? Maybe. But fans believe in signs. And in a world where every glance, every word, every silence carries meaning, maybe, just maybe, this is their way of saying the story isn't over yet. Whether Dylan's apology was a heartfelt confession or a strategic move, one thing is clear. It stirred emotions that neither time nor distance could completely erase. Shen Yu's calm, mature response proved once again why she remains one of the most respected figures in the industry. And Dylan's vulnerability showed that even stars, beneath their fame, are still human, capable of love, regret, and the need for forgiveness. This story reminds us that love in the spotlight is never simple, and that even apologies can become a public spectacle. But somewhere beneath the noise, two hearts are still learning how to heal. Thank you for watching K-Drama Cycle. If you enjoyed today's story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more emotional, real-life stories from the world of Asian drama. Until next time, keep believing in love, even when it hurts. Weeks passed after Dylan Wang's public apology, but the conversation surrounding him and Shen Yue refused to fade. What began as a simple statement had now turned into a full-blown emotional saga, one that fans, media outlets, and even fellow celebrities couldn't stop talking about. Shen Yu's calm, quiet reaction continued to fuel speculation. She didn't post anything directly about Dylan, yet her actions spoke louder than any words could. During one fan signing event for her new drama, a fan handed her a photo of her and Dylan from their Meteor Garden days. For a brief second, she paused, smiled faintly, and said softly, "That was a beautiful time." The video clip went viral within hours. Viewers could see the nostalgia in her eyes, the kind of emotion that comes only from genuine memories, not rehearsed professionalism. Behind the scenes, both their teams were reportedly cautious. Dylan's management wanted to focus on his upcoming film, trying to shift attention away from the apology saga. But Dylan himself, according to several insiders, wasn't ready to move on so easily. He was said to be trying to reach out, quietly, respectfully, through mutual friends, hoping to mend things personally, not publicly this time. A close source later revealed that Dylan had sent Shen Yue a handwritten letter. Not a statement through his PR team, not a post for fans, just a letter. In it, he wrote about how much he regretted letting silence take the place of sincerity, how he wished he had spoken sooner, and how grateful he was for her forgiveness, whether spoken or not. There's no confirmation if Shen Yue ever replied, but what happened next left everyone wondering. During a recent award ceremony, both Dylan Wang and Shen Yue attended the same event for the first time in over a year. They weren't seated together, but the camera couldn't resist cutting between them. When Dylan walked up to receive an award for his contribution to drama acting, he looked nervous, almost as if the spotlight carried more weight than usual. As he accepted the award, he paused again, just like during his earlier apology, and said, "Some moments in life are unforgettable. They shape who we are." I want to thank those who believed in me and those who taught me what belief really means. The crowd clapped, but it wasn't the words that caught attention. It was the brief glance he gave toward the audience where Shinyu was seated. For a second, she looked back. Just 1 second. But in that silent exchange, fans found 1,000 unspoken words. After the ceremony, photos surfaced of them walking past each other backstage. No hugs, no words, just a gentle nod from Dylan and a small smile from Shinyu. It was fleeting, but enough to stir emotions all over again. Online, fans flooded social media, saying it was like watching closure happen in real time. Some believed it was their way of ending a chapter peacefully. Others thought it was a quiet sign of reconciliation, something they preferred to keep private this time. Meanwhile, journalists began to point out how both stars had matured since their Meteor Garden days. Dylan, once known for his bold personality, now spoke more thoughtfully, more humbly. Shen Yue, always reserved, had grown into a woman of quiet strength and grace. It was as if both had walked separate paths that led them back to understanding, even if not to romance. Yet, destiny seemed to have one more twist in store. A major production company announced plans for a new romantic drama, and guess whose names appeared on the rumor casting list? Dylan Wang and Shen Yue. The moment the news leaked, fans lost control. Social media exploded with excitement and disbelief. Could it be real? Were they actually considering working together again after everything that happened? When reporters asked Dylan about it during an interview, he didn't confirm nor deny it. He simply smiled and said, "Sometimes life gives you second chances, not to change the past, but to create something better." It was the kind of statement that made people believe the collaboration might be true. As for Shinyu, when asked about the rumor, she laughed softly and said, "We've both grown. If a story is right, maybe it deserves to be told again." Those words ignited a storm of speculation. Was this her way of saying yes? Or was it just a polite, professional response? Whatever the truth, one thing was certain: the world was ready to see them together again, whether in fiction or in forgiveness. Fans across Asia began trending a new tag, #Second Chance for Dylan and Shen. It became a movement symbolizing not just love, but the beauty of healing, growth, and timing. But behind all the excitement, both Dylan and Shinyu seemed to understand something deeper. Theirs wasn't just a story about romance. It was about closure, about learning how to let go while still appreciating what once was. The kind of connection that doesn't fade, it simply transforms. Even months later, clips from their past interviews continued circulating online. Fans pointed out how naturally they understood each other, how effortlessly they communicated even in silence. And now, after years of distance, it seemed that silence had come full circle, not as pain, but as peace. In one of Shinyu's later interviews, when asked what she learned from her journey, she replied that love is not about holding on, it's about growing, even apart. Her words resonated deeply, especially among those who had followed their story from the start. And Dylan? He posted one simple message on social media weeks later: "Some stories never end. They just find new beginnings in quieter ways." For fans who had believed in them for years, that was enough. It wasn't about whether they got back together. It was about knowing they had healed, that the story that once broke hearts had finally come full circle. Because sometimes, in the world of fame and noise, the loudest kind of love is the one that chooses silence, not out of pride, but out of peace. And for Dylan Wang and Shinyu, peace might just be the most beautiful ending of all. Thank you for watching K-Drama Cycle. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories of love, heartbreak, and healing from your favorite stars. Until next time, keep believing in love, even the kind that grows quietly.